Customer states they ripped the door handle off of this '09 Tahoe, so we're going to fix that. If you look here, this is the linkage that will open the door. There's a linkage here inside of the cavity that will unlock the door. So up is unlocked, down is locked. We're going to push down on this linkage and we're going to open the door. We're going to have to remove this door panel. To do that, we're going to take off this triangle shaped piece up here by the mirror. There's a little window here that we have to remove the piece of plastic off of to access one 10mm screw. And underneath this door handle, there's another panel. We got to pop that off, and there's 2 screws behind it. And then we have to remove this door lock latch as well. To remove this latch, there's a little window here with a little indent in it. I'm going to take my multi-tool with a fine screwdriver, flat screwdriver, and I want to pry that out, and it's going to release, and there's just a threaded rod behind that. Now right here at the door handle, if I pull this out, you can see there's a little indent there. Get a screwdriver in there and pry that out, and this will pop out. Be careful, this thing's spring loaded, or it has some tabs on it that make it like it's a spring. So just pry up on it, it'll pop right out. There's a look at what that looks like. It's a 10mm socket. Just gonna remove that. Down inside of here, there's a little window. We gotta take that out. So I'm gonna take a flat bladed screwdriver, and I'm gonna come in here in this corner. I'm gonna get it started, and it'll pop right out. That's what it looks like down inside of that pocket. If you have one of these magnets, it comes in handy in this situation. I've got a small flat pry bar. I'm going to get behind this piece of plastic. I'm going to work my way in and I'm going to pry it off. And this one's actually been off before. Somebody broke these lower 2 tabs off of this piece of plastic. So just be careful whenever you're prying that off of there. That's what that tab looks like. Now we're going to get in behind this up here, and we're going to start prying this corner, and it's going to start popping that panel loose. We're just going to work our way around. Now we can lift up on it slightly, and it will come loose. And as you remove that, you'll see some white foam here, sound deadener. There's going to be a bit of adhesive on there. We're going to start peeling that back. Now that I've got my panel partially removed, I'm just going to leave it hang there, and I'm going to pull this plug out because there's a screw behind there we need to get to. Just take my flat bladed screwdriver and work it in behind that plug and pop it out. That's what it looks like inside that hole. We got to get to that. And then behind this cable, there's another screw that we have to get to. That's a 10mm as well. I'm going to hold on to it with a pair of needle nose pliers. Make sure you put your finger behind to hold that screw in place so it doesn't fall. And carefully work it out. Let's do the other side, making sure we scratch the paint. I'm going to stick the magnet up underneath to try and catch it if it falls off. There it is. It's not the end of the world if you drop it, as long as you got a magnet. You can get down in there and get to it. Now we have to remove this lock tumbler from the old latch on the back side. You're going to see that there's a little keeper here, metal keeper. We're going to take our needle nose pliers. We're going to grab onto that. We're going to remove it. So there's what that keeper looks like. And then the tumbler will just pull right out. And now we'll install it on the new handle. Pretty straightforward procedure. They make it very simple and you can't screw it up. This has retainer on this side that's fairly wide compared to the other side. And just make sure that you've got the red tab pointing to the outside of the handle. You just drop it in, push on it, and it'll snap in. All right, now we're going to take our handle and we're going to install it on the latch by sliding it down and rotating it. And now we've got our lock exposed, our lock latch, our lock linkage, and we're going to snap it into the red piece. And now we're going to install the handle. It's a little tricky. So you need to get this red piece back behind there. Make sure you don't have any of your blue plastic overlapping. You're going to push this part of the latch into that corner. And it's going to drop in. You kind of have to roll it in. I would recommend stuffing a rag down inside of this pocket because there's a hole down here that one of your bolts could get into and it might be very difficult to get it out. If you don't have a socket that's magnetic, you got one of these magnetic sticks, you can use it to put that screw or get that screw started. Just got to be very careful. Reinstall our screws in the door panel underneath the handle. Don't forget to reinstall the plug like I did. Reinstall the cover plate. Reinstall the screw behind the lever. Snap that cover plate in by seating the bottom first and rolling the top in. Reinstall your corner cover plate. Like I said, mine's broke, so it won't stay tight there. Reinstall your lock lever. Be sure to push your plunger down. It just slides over that piece of all thread. Test it out. There, it works. Now let's fix a headlamp. We're on the left side. We're going to take this 10mm out of the front of the light, off the top of the bracket of the light. I need to see if we can weasel this light out a little bit. I have to get my hand down in there. You're not going to be able to see it, but I got to turn that little retainer off of there to get that light bulb out. Counterclockwise. And there it is. There's a couple clips on the side. You just push on one of them and it'll release. Well, I didn't have the camera on, but I actually flicked this one and it kicked back on. But I don't think it's going to last because I did that to the last one. I didn't flick it, but I just messed around with it and it ended up coming back on. I reinstalled it and it went out not too long after that. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace it while I get the thing apart. There's a slot right here. You got to line it up with the slot in the light bulb. and it'll fall on the floor. It doesn't know if it wants to stay on the paint or if it wants to come off of the foam. Engineers, you gotta love them. Whatever's cheap to manufacture. That's number one. You can be as gentle or as aggressive as you like. And you can be as rough as you want with that. It doesn't matter because you're gonna throw it away. And now we are carefully going to reinstall our screws, making certain that we drop them. See, just like that. Surprised I didn't leave that in there. Let's try it out. And it doesn't work. Oh, it's locked. Make sure you don't lock yourself out. Over on the left side, we're going to take off these. Don't need to take that one out, dumbass.